Welcome to Picture Healer channel. I know many of you are interested in learning classical Chinese Feng Shui or Chinese fortune-telling, such as 八字 or 紫微, or even I-Ching. In this video, I'd like to talk about how can you start learning and the common issues that happen to almost everyone. First, I want to say these are just my opinions. There's no formal college degree for learning this, so everybody will have a little bit different path. So let's talk about the first step if you are interested in learning. For the Chinese Feng Shui and the fortune-telling, if you are talking about the classic Feng Shui, the basic theory is number one thing you have to know, and that includes the yin and yang, and the relationships of the yin and yang. And the second one is the 5 element, the wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And we have that 5 element chart. You know the relationship of generating cycle and the controlling cycle. And the next we have to know the Bagua, the 8 trigrams. And the Bagua include the pre-heaven Bagua and the later heaven Bagua. So that's 2 main types. And the next thing you need to know the He Tu and the Luo Shu. That's a river map and the Luo square. In these 2 charts, you can see the relationship of numbers and the yin and yang and the direction. So you can see all the interactions. The chart seems easy, but it can get very complicated once you start applying in different areas. And if you want to study Feng Shui, you also need to know the 24 mountains or the 24 directions. And there are also relationship between the 24 mountain and the yin-yang, Bagua, 5 element, and so on. So those are the bases if you want to study Feng Shui. And if you want to study the traditional Chinese fortune-telling, maybe 八字 or the 紫微, the purple star, those are based on your birth chart. So you also need to learn the timing system. So we are talking about the 天干地支. That's the 10 heavenly stems and the 12 earthly branches. And those can be related to year, month, day, and the hour. And there are 60 combinations between the 10 heavenly stem and 12 earthly branches. So that's also part of the basic theory for Chinese calendar. And the 12 earthly branches are also related to the 12 animal signs. So you can see there will be a lot of relationship in the chart. And even when we just talk about the animal sign, there are different relationship in the chart. We have the compatible, incompatible, conflicting, and all different relationships. And besides that, we need to know the 24 solar turns, or the 24节气. That's the basis of the Chinese Feng Shui calendar, or the lunar calendar. And that can be confusing too, because it's not the same as the Western calendar, and it's not the same as the lunar calendar. And we use the 24 solar turns a lot in the date selection, in the birth chart, animal sign, and other fortune-telling methods. There are 2 solar turns each month, and it's about the same day every year. There will be 1, 2, or 3 days differences, but basically that's the day we use to decide the birth chart and the change of season. So all these are the basics if you want to study either Feng Shui or Chinese fortune-telling, or if you want to study Chinese medicine, a lot of this will apply too. And if you look at them separately, they look simple and straightforward. But when you combine all of them together, it can become very complicated. So suppose you finish learning the basic, or the yin-yang 5 element, the 24 mountains, and the Bagua chart. Next, you have to pick you want to learn Feng Shui or fortune-telling. If you want to learn Feng Shui, there are also many different schools. In my channel, we talk about the Flying Star Feng Shui. Or maybe you are more interested in the Bazai, the 8 mansions Feng Shui. Or maybe you are interested in the land form, the landscape, and the shape of the mountains and the rivers affecting your house. Or there are many other different Feng Shui styles. Some are more modern, some are more simplified, but the basic theories are the same. And another group of fortune telling is based on the I-Ching, the Book of Change. And the basic theory of the I-Ching fortune telling is the same. The yin yang, 5 element, bagua, and the timing. Or maybe you are more interested in reading birth chart, such as 八字 or the Ziwei, the purple star astrology. Again, the basic theory are the same, but they all have different focus. So once you are good at the basic theories, everything will be a lot easier. For example, for the Flying Star Feng Shui, you just need to find out the charts. It can be based on the year and month, or it can be based on the direction of your house and the feng shui period of the house. Once you find the chart and the different stars, we can just interpret the chart. Now, since we are in the age of the internet and technology, we can simplify a lot of things. For the theory, you can check books and Google. You don't have to memorize everything. So the whole process becomes much easier. There are all kinds of calculator and apps. You can put in your house direction, construction year, or you put in your birthday, and they will generate your chart. And our job is to just interpret the chart. In theory, everything should be super easy. But technology is not perfect, so you will see a lot of mistakes. And different developer will have different levels of knowledge and different technical skills. So it will not be a perfect solution, but it can be helpful once you learn more and you know how to use the tools and not just relying on the tools. Before it was all secrets. Now we have a lot more opportunities to learn. Even though the right information is a little bit hard to find, either in the bookstore or even online. So for beginners, the first issue we face is difficult to understand the basic theories. And this is like learning a new language. It does take time. You need to be patient because they are kind of boring when you just start it. But if you can pass the first stage of learning the basic theory, everything will be much easier. The second part is a language barrier or the cultural barrier. Most of the theories are from ancient times, so it's still not easy to understand for modern day people. And if you are not Chinese, then it's even harder because of the cultural barrier. Even though this is not a religion, but it's still influenced by some type of religion or philosophy. It's closer to Taoism and Confucianism. So if you have some background, it will be much easier. And again, this is like a climbing mountain. You start one step at a time. You cannot rush it. And the third problem I see a lot is the conflicting information. Because there are so many different schools, either in Feng Shui or fortune telling, different schools and different methods will have conflicting information. Because we are talking about energy, we try to understand the energy and try to manipulate it either by rearranging furniture, change the direction of the door, or by selecting a lucky day. We try different methods to understand nature's flow and the energy cycle. And it is very difficult to describe correctly or exactly or scientifically about energy. So there will be different methods. and they might be conflicting, but they might all work. The purpose of the Feng Shui and the fortune telling is to bring better luck, increase the positive energy, and reduce negative energy or the negative outcome. So it doesn't matter which method, if they can get you that result, that's what it counts. So it's hard to argue who is correct, who is not. It's hard to compare different schools. If you want to learn certain school of fortune telling, that means this school attracts you and you have some connection with that. So it will be a good start for you. And as time goes by, we will learn more and we can move on to different methods or different schools. So there's no right and wrong way to do this. So don't be too picky or too caught up about which one is correct and which one is wrong. Just start with basic and pick one area such as flying star feng shui and start accumulating your knowledge. There's really no ending to learn Chinese metaphysics. So just be patient, learn what you can, and if one area is very difficult, you can always come back. Maybe in a few days or years, it will start make sense when you learn more later. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.